To help you set your lineups and avoid starting a player who won't take the field, we will post fantasy-relevant updates and analysis here as NFL teams release their Sunday inactive lists before kickoff. Any rankings cited in this column come from our ESPN Fantasy Staff ranks. Refresh often for the latest information. Wondering what you can expect in Week 2 from dinged-up players like Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry? Our injury expert gives her thoughts on every notable injured player. Ruled out before Sunday: offense WR John Brown quadriceps, QB Paxton Lynch shoulder, RB Devontae Booker wrist, QB Andrew Luck labrum, WR Mike Williams back, WR Matthew Slater hamstring, WR Danny Amendola concussion, T Eric Tomlinson ankle, T Jordan Leggett knee, defense Zadarius Smith ankle, CB Jalen Hill hamstring, DT Gerald Worthy concussion, DTTY McGill back, D Myles Garrett ankle, Anthony Hitchens knee, CB Orlando Scandrick hand, CB Brendan Langley knee, Antonio Morrison elbow, CB Vontae Davis groin, S Darius Butler hamstring, S Calvin Pryor 3 ankle, CB Jason Verrett knee, S Rayshawn Jenkins concussion, Ray Maualuga hamstring, DT Vincent Valentine knee, Donta Hightower knee, S Nate Ebner shoulder, Bruce Carter ankle, S Rantez Miles eye, DT Destiny Vao wrist, CB Ronald Darby ankle, Reuben Foster ankle, Devante Bond knee, S Jonathan Cyprian hamstring. Sunday night game, 8:30 p.m. ETD Mike Daniels hip, questionable active Demontrevious Adams foot, questionable inactive Ahmed Brooks concussion, doubtful inactive S Kentrell Bryce quadriceps, questionable active RB Brian Hill ankle, questionable inactive updates analysis. Most recent first Eddie Lacy 3:00 p.m. Fairly telling that the veteran running back is inactive today, despite all evidence pointing to his being healthy. Thomas Rawls, CJ Prozis and Chris Carson are active. Feel free to set to him loose. Dallas Cowboys 2:50 p.m. The offense could have a field day today against the Broncos, who have only 5 active defensive linemen dressing, with Zach Kerr inactive. Miami Dolphins 11:55 a.m. The Chargers will not play CB Jason Verrett knee and instead will start the very inexperienced Trevor Williams. This could be a boon for Miami's passing attack. Sam Bradford 10:45 a.m. According to ESPN NFL Nation's Courtney Cronin, Sam Bradford's pre-game warm-up lasted only 1,015 minutes and did not include any running and very little footwork. It sounds a lot like Case Keenum will indeed get the call for Minnesota today. Josh Doctson 1005 a.m. ESPN's John Keim reports that the Redskins receiver will be able to play on Sunday, though he could be limited in terms of how many snaps he sees. Jamison Crowder is still likely to be the better fantasy performer among Washington wideouts. Jordan Howard 735 a.m. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports that the Bears running back is expected to play today against the Buccaneers, despite his shoulder injury. Still, Week 1 standout Tarik Cohen might be the safer play, especially with the Chicago offensive line missing Kyle Long ankle. Sam Bradford 730 a.m. It looks like Bradford knee will be a game-time decision for the Vikings, who are unlikely to decide on their starting quarterback until after pre-game workouts. If Minnesota goes with either Case Keenum or Kyle Sloter, all Vikings receivers take a fantasy value hit. Official Sunday inactives should begin coming in at approximately 11:30 a.m. ET for the early games, 2:30 p.m. ET for the late games and 7 p.m. ET for the Sunday night game. Games underway: early games, 1 p.m. ETH schedule: WR Michael Campanaro ankle, questionable active Tim Williams illness, questionable active RB Benny Cunningham ankle, doubtful inactive RB Jordan Howard shoulder, questionable active WR Josh Bellamy ankle, questionable active WR Marcus Wheaton finger, questionable inactive Christian Jones back, questionable active Leonard Floyd back, questionable active CB Prince Amukamara ankle, questionable inactive S Dion Bush hamstring, questionable inactive Quan Alexander illness, questionable active QB Sam Bradford knee, questionable inactive Anthony Barr hamstring, questionable active CB Xavier Rhodes hip, questionable active T Vance McDonald back, questionable Questionable inactive De Stefan Tuat arm. Questionable inactive S. Devin McCourty groin. Questionable active De Trey Hendrickson illness. Questionable active pound Stefan Anthony ankle. Questionable inactive pound Nathan Stupa hamstring. Questionable active S. Corey Graham hamstring. Questionable active pound Reggie Ragland knee. Doubtful inactive pound Kevin Pierre-Louis illness. Questionable active S. Ron Parker ankle. Questionable active CB Jalen Ramsey ankle. Questionable active T. Jermaine Gresham ribs. Questionable inactive T. Troy Nicholas hip. Questionable active De Robert Inkemdish calf. Questionable active pound Dione Buchanan ankle. Doubtful inactive WR Chester Rogers hamstring. Questionable inactive CB Leonard Johnson quadriceps. Questionable active late games 405 and 425 p.m. ET5 scheduled right back Eddie Lacy coach decision inactive pound Corey Lemony foot. Questionable active RB Jamiz Olawale quadriceps. Questionable inactive CB Sean Smith neck. Questionable inactive S. Keith McGill foot. Questionable inactive WR Jarvis Landry knee. Questionable active WR Dottrell Inman groin. Questionable active T. Sean McGrath knee. Questionable active DeJerry Ateochu hamstring. Questionable inactive S. Jimmy Ward hamstring. Questionable active pound Terrence Garvin shoulder. Doubtful inactive CB Richard Sherman hamstring. Questionable active WR Josh Doctson hamstring. Questionable active CB Kayvon Webster shoulder. Questionable inactive WR Terrence Williams ankle. Questionable active S. Byron Jones groin. Questionable active DT Zach Kerr knee. Questionable inactive S. Darian Stewart groin. Questionable active